years ago, I read a book by Dr. Carol Dweck called Mindset. And in the book, Dr. Dweck discusses a mindset. You have two types of mindsets. You have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is all about changing your perspective and trying to see the positive and realizing that your mindset can change and that your perspective on things can change. Versus you saying, I'll never be able to do math. You say, I don't know how to do math yet. Versus you saying, I'll never have it, saying, I just have to work a little bit harder to have it. This is a book that when I read it a couple times, but the first time I read it, I kind of was like, I flipped through it, it was something to keep me preoccupied when I was on a flight. But then I picked it up again in late 2016. It was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made because it taught me how to start changing my self-talk in terms of looking at what I wanted and what I did not have. I had allowed myself to get into a mindset of saying, I'll never have this, I'll never have that. When I face setbacks in life, someone who is working from a fixed mindset, whenever they face setbacks, they just shut down and they collapse and they go all to pieces. Especially people who are used to the pieces all falling into place for them when they wanted them to. Which up until a certain point in my life, that was who I was. So when I started facing adversity in my late teens, early 20s, it really hurt my confidence because everything used to come so easy to me. And then I started facing these stumbling blocks and things weren't falling into my lap. Things weren't going exactly how I wanted them to go anymore. So I really struggled. And a lot of the struggle was because of my mindset. Instead of seeing problems and adversity as opportunities to build character, as opportunities for me to grow, I just shut down and said, I'll never be able to do this. I'll never be able to have this. This is just where I'm stuck at in my life. But when I picked up the book again in 2016, I was going through a rough patch in my life on a lot of different levels. I was going through a rough patch personally. I was going through a rough patch financially. I was going through an extremely rough patch professionally. And I kind of just, when I looked at everything that was going on, all I saw was problems. I did not see solutions. But I took the book and I took notes and I made post-it notes and I put them all over the place in my apartment. I put some in my car. I put some behind my desk in my classroom. And I made a conscious and an intentional effort to change my self-talk. It went from, I'll never be able to have this to, I can have it. I just have to work hard and figure out how I can have it. It went from a thing of, I will never be able to do this to, I haven't done it yet, but if I work hard enough, if I play my cards right, I will be able to do it. And over time, it didn't happen overnight. I'm not going to sit here and say that changing my mindset happened overnight. But as I started doing the work and being intentional, being conscientious about my self-talk and being intentional in the actions that I took, I started to see things changing for me. Again, it didn't happen overnight. It's still a work in progress. So I came up with this quote, and I don't know if I'm the first person that used it, but if I did, it sounds good. When an obstacle comes into your path, you have two choices. You can either see it as a stumbling block or you can see it as a stepping stone. Life, you're always going to have inconveniences. You're always going to have setbacks. Life is not about the inconveniences. It's not about the setbacks. It's not about the obstacles. It's not about the challenges. However, life is about how you respond to those challenges. How we respond to our challenges, how we respond to our setbacks, that is what determines our character, and that is also what builds our character. If we look at every problem and we shut down and we take on this negative self-talk, we will never achieve the things that we want to achieve in our life. If you see every obstacle as a stumbling block, you're always going to be in the same place. However, if you learn how to look at your setbacks as stepping stones, it's stepping stones to your destiny. It's stepping stones towards the things you want to accomplish in life. It's stepping stones to that next level. Nothing worth having it's going to come easy. Anything in your life that you really appreciate, it didn't come to you overnight. You had to work for it. You had to grind for it. And you had some setbacks along the way. So the only way that we can appreciate the things is if we work for it, if we take the good with the bad. So in 2018, I really hope that people can change their mindset about how they look at obstacles, how they look at their difficulties, how they look at their challenges, how they look at their setbacks. And when they look at it, instead of saying, I'll never get past this, saying, I'm here right now, but I will get past this. I don't have what I want right now, but I will have it. I just have to be intentional and work hard for it. And when they change their mindset, instead of looking at every obstacle as a setback or a stumbling block, look at it as an opportunity to move forward. Look at it as your stepping stone.